Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation! Good evening and welcome back to an extra frigid East Coast edition of Computerized Start. I am your host, Justin D. Morgan. And I was late because I went to go put on wool socks after seeing the temperature in the basement, which is 45 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but it's getting close to zero because it's supposed to get down to like 10 tonight here. So yeah, the basement's starting to feel cold. Anyways, let's see who we have in the chat. We have Frank S. We have Francois. Francois is still up at 2 a.m. All right, we have Adam McGee. Hello, Adam. Adam probably might even recognize the top of the box here. We have... Adam McGee says, I just realized I have a keyboard that looks like the one in Justin's clone, except mine doesn't have the numeric keypad. Cool. Let's see, we have K-Mac Vintage. Hi, Will. We have Sad Mac. When in doubt, hammer. We have Tom Armstrong. Yes, you are a little bit early. Well, I was a little bit late, too. We have Jesse, I-386SX. Yes. And we have One Bit Fever Dreams. We have Gut Bomb. Yay, we have Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack. We have Robert Butler. Hi, Robert. We have Retro Mac UK. Hi, Martin. We have... I think I've said hello to everyone. If I missed you, then, well... then either I need to do that... I sometimes, often forget to change it to live chat, so... Oh! We have Ryan! Hi, everything is Broken Garage. Alright! I have set a new coffee goal. This one will probably go till April. Hopefully not till quite the last minute. But I received an email from VCF East. My exhibit was accepted. So... that's step one to getting to VCF East as an exhibitor. So I have... well, I got many things to do. So anyway, so if you can help me make it to VCF East, well, you can check the link in the description. And, yeah. Oh, and I did get the Logic Analyzer. Luckily, the weather on Saturday was quite lovely, other than a bit windy, so, yeah, I got it. And, okay. I think I need to get some clips for it, but yes. So yes, I hope to be at VCF East. But at least the step one is done. I was accepted as an exhibitor for 2 tables. All right, let's see here. Let's go to Table Cam, where I have redacted addresses for reasons. I mean, should you have something you would like to send to the channel, you can always reach out to me on social media or email or Discord or carrier pigeon. Although, I'm not sure how the carrier pigeon's going to get here if you don't know my address, but maybe you've got one of those smart carrier pigeons. Also, I was watching LGR's video that I think it might be a couple days old at this point on the robot. Yeah, if you send a robot, you don't need to send it Western gangster style. But yes. Gutbomb says this episode of Computerized Start should be Computerized Start Live. Yes. Well, unfortunately, computer has something that ails it, and so I've got to use my Apple IIe or my Apple II GS as a functional test placeholder until I can get the computer fixed. Oh yes, Adam McGee is saying that I do not know what is in this box other than a few small items, which I think I might know if Adam remembered to put them in here, but I do not know what is in this box. For all I know, Adam put a carrier pigeon in here to fly back to his address. Oh, yeah, no worries, Jeremy. The weather was kind of frightful here the past 24 hours. So, all right. And we have foam. Foam helps the retro stuff survive. And, all right. We have these are the items that I suspected I knew about. So, Adam told me he was going to send me a Disk 2 interface card that takes the ribbon cables. He also had these 2 memory chips and some screws for my Apple IIc. So, yes, this is what I knew about. Now, everything else I believe is a complete mystery. So, yes. Adam remembered, look under the second foam too. All right. And, ooh. All right. Oh, here we go. Oh. Okay, this might be the other thing I know about. Well, of course, there could be something else in here, too. Ah, yes. It is an Alps floppy drive mechanism. Yes, thank you, Adam. So, yes, and that spindle looks to be in excellent condition. As you might remember, I have I believe it's a Commodore floppy drive that the spindle is broken on, so it will take a little bit of work, but I can take the spindle from this drive and put it on the other drive and have a hopefully working floppy drive. But yes, thank you for the parts. I can always use certain parts. All right, and oh, good. And we have, all right. What is under the second foam? We have more foam. Ha! All right. Oh, thank you, Adam. It is a Disk 2 drive. All right. So now I have a genuine Apple Disk 2 drive that I could use for testing. Thank you, Adam. And, all right. Yes, that will, yep, all right. That is everything. All right, and Adam says the Disk 2 drive and the included controller are tested and working. All right, excellent. Thank you, Adam, for sending me a few things that I can have as known good references and will be able to use in the future. All right. So that means I can... Oh, yes. Before I get to the Apple II, I was going to play Wheel of Regret. Although I actually already took it out of the box, but maybe I was slightly jealous at Steve's shenanigans with his compact computer. So I bought something on eBay that just came in today. Let folks have a chance at kind of seeing beyond the mystery. Wheel of regret. Which Martin says, Wheel of regret. Which regret will you spend today? Well, there are many ways this could be a regret. First of all, there is just the simple fact that SCSI on the PC is just regretful. Martin says, is it a VGA card? Yeah. Yes, eBay, the place where I buy things I later regret. And this could be a regret. This is a Sound Blaster 16 SCSI, otherwise known as a CT1770. Yes. Oh, it's a SCSI. Yeah, everyone's now reacting to the fact that it's a PC SCSI card. However, there is one thing about these Sound Blaster cards that could be a bigger regret than SCSI, which this is not bootable, so yeah. And it is this chip right here. Because I don't know if any of you are familiar with the hanging note bug. But that is caused by certain revisions of the DSP chip. And that DSP chip is right here. So I am about to reveal what version of the DSP I managed to get. Drum roll, please. Jeremy says, I've got one of those. Adam McG says, now you can have failed audio and SCSI in a single slot. Yeah. All right. And it is version 4.05 of the DSP. Which, actually, if I've read the internet correctly, it's all the DSPs after 4.05 that have the hanging note bug. So, I might have lucked out there. But, yep. So, it's a 50% regret. But I will hopefully be able to use this with a blue SCSI to do CD-ROM emulation so that I can try software images without having to burn a bunch of disks. So, Francois says I could swap it, but I don't think I need to swap it. Now, of course, there's another sound card on eBay that I'm watching for because it actually has this chip in it, but I probably won't buy it because there's only one game that ever used it. It has the bad DSP version. This one, I couldn't see the photo. The other one, I could clearly see the photo, and it was clearly the bad version. So I took a gamble based on the date on these chips. That I kept seeing 93, 93, 93, and I was getting the impression this was an early card. So I took the risk. And it looks like it might have paid off. And there we go. Yes, this has the genuine OPL3 on it. DSP 4.05. And it looks to be in good condition. So anyways, look forward to that being this being put into a not compact computer in the future because I don't have a compact like Steve's. So I can't have the like ultimate quadruple regret trifecta of compact missing the promised LS120 drive with SCSI and headaches galore from SCSI on PC. Yeah, I think that's about right. Jeremy says if I run the Windows 98 2nd Edition boot disk, it will install drivers for the SCSI part of that card. Well, yeah, there's also other ways to install the drivers, too. The drivers are out there. But yeah, the drivers are easily findable. Oh, the other eBay purchase I don't need to show off. So let's get to Apple II stuff. Well, I guess now you're curious. The reason why it wasn't on Wheel of Regret is because it's just simply some floppy drive adapters. So now maybe I could finish putting my K-Pro back together. The they're like, I think they're the last thing that I bought in December. That sound card, though, I bought it this month. All right, let's see. Let's get back to the Jesse says I've got one of those cards. I'll have to try the 98 second edition disc. Yeah. Let's see. Did I get the compact flash of regret yet? No, that hasn't arrived. That's not shipping from Amazon. That's shipping from the third party seller. And I'm not in an area where Amazon gives you next day shipping. Oh, hey, Will. Will Jr. 880 says my dog's name when I was growing up was Susie, and I tried to call her Scuzzy. Yep. Ryan says a passing regret. Yep. Let's see here. Reading the chat backwards is. Yep. All right. Let me go grab a. Let's see, which Mac will I use? Oh, or not Mac. Which Apple? Ah! Adam says, I got another Apple II Plus today, and it came with a surprise Disk 2 drive. I can't seem to get rid of them. Oh, all right. I guess, let's go for the Apple IIe. Why not? We'll go for the Apple IIe. Because I think the Apple II GS is suffering from an ADB chip that doesn't like the cold, and it's very cold in the basement, so it probably would. I'd probably get the 911 error. Jeremy says, fun fact, you can boot a 386 with a Windows 98 Second Edition floppy. Fun fact, I don't think I would want to run Windows 98 Second Edition on a 386. I think the time I tried Windows 95, that was fun enough. Yeah, was it? Yeah, I think it was Windows 95 I ran. Okay, let's see if we can have some success here. So, all right. Let me take the Apple II card that Adam just sent me. Very nice. All the chips are socketed. As is usually the case with those. Jeremy says you can't run Windows 98 Second Edition on the 386, just the boot floppy. Oh. Yeah, that actually doesn't surprise me as much. Oh, that's right. Yes, these memory chips actually will go in the... Actually, they can go in this card here. I just need to find the thingamadoodle. The buffer chip. All right. So I have a Disk 2 interface card. I am fairly confident that this drive still works because I had no reason to believe FedEx did anything to the box. Adam always does an impeccable job packaging. And he sent it FedEx to minimize the amount of time that they had the box in their possession, which usually results in a very successful delivery. However, I am going to still try this, and uh-oh, I don't see the stripe on the cable. Yeah. So Adam, does this plug in, I guess, this way? With the ribbon away from the PCB? Because I don't see the stripe on it. Notch faces out. Oh. That notch right there? Okay. Oh. Oh, yes, I see the arrow that's marking pin 1 there. Okay. There we go. There's the pin 1 arrow, and the notch is facing out. All right. So there's that. Now, since I can plug in 2 drives, and because my floppy emu was acting weird last time, I am going to plug it in as the second drive. One of these days I am going to... Adam says the drive is ugly but fully functional. Well, it is totally fine. Actually, maybe I won't be plugging the floppy emu in. I need to recrimp this cable so the ribbon's coming out of the other way. Oh, there we go. It's going. Okay, I will fix my... Oh, hey, Falcor, welcome! Oh, Falcor, are you going to be at VCF East? Because, well, I got accepted as an exhibitor today. Or, actually, it's last night. So... Oh, yeah. Oh, that makes at least 3 of us. Cool. All right, so got the Apple II floppy drive, ugly but functional. Well, Adam, you call this Apple II drive ugly, but it looks better than lots I've seen on eBay, so... Oh, yes, all right. Yeah, this Apple II drive looks a lot better than some I've seen on eBay, so... Not sure you're going to exhibit it. Okay. Well, I've got an idea for an exhibit, and hopefully we'll be able to get the computers working I would like to exhibit. So, all right. Let me turn on power to the outlet before I trick myself again, unlike last time where I turned it on and nothing happened. All right. 3, 2, 1. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. This is bringing back memories here. Because our first family computer was an Apple II Plus. It had one of these Disk 2 drives, just like this one. So this is like that. Ryan saying the exhibit of regrets. Built of Trident cards and sadness. No, actually, my exhibit is appropriately titled, My Story Starts with a Computer. And there will be probably, I won't say no Trident cards, but probably minimal ones, because I'm sure someone will hand me a Trident card to make sure there's a Trident card at the table. Yeah, no smoke. Yeah, no, you all are funny. Okay, so we've got our enhanced Apple IIe with 128K of memory, despite the fact that Computer Inspector clearly sees there is a 1088K of memory. So let's go ahead and go down to the disk drive test. And I'm first going to go... Actually, I think I'm first going to try the floppy emu. All right. Very clearly, I'm on the floppy emu. And sure enough, my floppy emu is giving weird RPM speeds on an actual Disk 2 controller. Okay, so general operation on the Flappy Emu. Appears to be having problems. Okay, so apparently the Floppy Emu is working exactly as it was last week. In that I need to reach out to Big Mess of Wires and see what's up. Adam says, I've never tried the speed test against a Flappy Emu. Well, either it's not supposed to run the speed test successfully or there's something wrong with my Flappy Emu. So, all right, let's just double check the Apple II disk drive. I am sure, although this is more to test the disk, because I have no reason to believe there's anything wrong with the drive. All right, so let's do drive. I have a blank disk in Apple II disk. And, oh, it is spot on. Excellent. That's one tuned in Apple II disk drive. All right. There we go. Yep. And it's doing the general operation test. It's actually writing data. I think this may actually format the disk, but Adam calibrated. Oh, thank you, Adam. Oh, Joe! Joe is late. Hi, Joe. So let's see here. Write protect switch is currently off. All right. Well, I'm sure that works. Okay, so disk 2 drive passes the test. I knew it would. That also means this disk should be good because it worked in a known good working drive. So let me find my little green marker so I can put a little green dot on the disk label so that I don't get them mixed up. There we go. So all right. So now I have a little green dot, which may be hard to see, but anyway, there's a green dot in the corner of the disk. Probably getting blown out by the light, but Ryan says, wait, is this Joe or is it Moopsy controlling controlling his boneless corpse right now? Yeah, no, on Joe's Discord last night, he posted a picture of him being attacked by a Moopsy, so yeah. Hopefully, Joe somehow survived. Okay, so we've got a known working floppy drive. We have a disk I've tested. All right, I think the next step is to take the known working floppy drive, and I'll skip the Floppy Emu. All right, so I'm gonna take the known working floppy drive and plug it in as drive 1 on the clone disk controller. I'll make sure, yes, and I have all the chips reinserted. So, all right, there we go. I'll plug right in. I have the notches facing out, even though it's hard to see. All right. Oh, hey, 2K compliant. Welcome. All right. So, I have the known working disk 2 floppy drive plugged into the clone floppy controller. And we're going to all right, run the disk drive test. All right, let me put the known good floppy disk in. Oh, hey, Garth. Welcome. All right, so let's run the drive speed test. And that is spot on. Okay. All right, general operation. Garth says, I should overclock that drive to 600 RPM. The disk drive seems to be functioning properly. Oh, sadness. Okay, now I'm almost tempted to do something here. No, that's not. I was about to put the 2 chips sitting on my workbench back in the controller card, but they're probably good, as well as the ones that are in it. Yeah, my floppy emu's already at 617 RPM. Yes, Adam has come to the same conclusion I did. I think the drives are bad. And yep, so the write protect is correctly being detected. Let me put a little. Actually, let me stick a write protected disk in. Yep. Okay. Yeah. The mystery could. Yep. I think we're going to have to open up the. I think we're going to have to open up the floppy drive. The Super 5 floppy drives. Yeah. Worst comes to worst, I'll sell them to Rudy. No, I'll fix them. They've got to be fixable. All right. Thank you again, Adam, for the things you sent me that took that probably reduced the troubleshooting down to about 20 minutes. Yay, repairs. Yes, I don't know if I'll be able to what I'll be able to repair in terms of them today, but we'll see what's in them that I might have on hand. All right. Well, let me get the Apple IIe off the bench so that I have room to open up the floppy drives. Yes. So it looks like there is something to be repaired. Fortunately, not this disk controller, so I don't have to socket any of the other chips, although part of me wants to socket the rest of them just so that the card looks right. But that has its own set of risks. So, all right, first of all, I got to find a place to put the Apple IIe that's not going to fall over. Oh. Actually, let me do this. All right. All right, let me set that there for a moment. And I'll set the Apple IIe here close because I'll need it again soon. And then this floppy drive can go a bit further away because it's not as necessary tonight. All right, and this disk 2 can go. Oh, there we go. I found a spot for it. All right, so let's open up one of these Super 5 drives again. Snacks. Did someone mention snacks? Where's the snacks? Let's see. Garth is asking, does anyone know why this ruddy 2011 MacBook Air I have on my bench just shuts off during boot? More importantly, do I really care? It is quite possible that the answer to both questions is no. Although, my guess on why it's shutting off during boot is there's something wrong with the battery. Your battery needs to learn to battery. Martin's telling Frank that retro snacks are important. I have Pringles and fried popcorn chicken. Ooh, that sounds really good. Adam's saying, remember to test the cables as well. All right. I will do a continuity check on the cables, because yes, it is entirely possible that both cables are ruined in the same way. No, actually. Oh, well, the cable on this floppy drive is, yeah, there's something wrong with it. All right, well, let me continue opening the drive, because in order to check the cable, I'll need to get access to the other side of it. All right. I wonder if both of these drives have the same. Well, the other drive, the cable looks fine, but that's not to say that it doesn't have a break in it too. Yeah, this cable looks like I'm going to have to cut 3 inches off of it and recrimp the IDC connector on it, which I can't do tonight. All right, let's take a look at this cable. All right. Luckily, the PCB is marked. Also, the key will prevent it from going on that way. All right. So let me put a mark on the. All right. So I put an eye on the side of the cable that goes inside. I could use the cable from the disc too if I want to be sure. Yes, I can. And that might be easier than trying to tone out this cable, but. Oh, I just thought of a easy way to tone this cable out. And now Justin spends 20 or 30 minutes looking for the pin headers that are not guaranteed to be on the workbench or off the workbench. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. These will work. Nope, those are the wrong pin headers. Never mind. All right. Pin headers. Where were the pin headers? Oh, I don't know where the pin headers I'm looking for might be, so I will. Oh, wait. Okay, hold please. I'm gonna get some pin headers to stick in the ends of the cables. That'll make toning that cable out a little easier. And I think the pin headers I'm looking for are. Should be in this box. There's one piece of pin headers. Oh, and there's even more than 20 pins on it. All right. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. All right. I got a pin header. Yes, this drive does have a Track Zero sensor. All right. So this pin header has 2 extra pins on it. All right. I thought I had another section of this type pin header. I don't know where it is. All right. And now I just did a really bad job of cutting that, and now I have an 18 pin header, which I guess is fine because we believe the problem is on that one side of the cable where the wire's cut. So I'll just do that there. And then I should have the other side of that pin header that I lost most of the pins on, but I believe the pin that goes to that piece of ribbon is that one there. So there we go. So now I have a pin on both sides. And now I can find the multimeter. Which I know is around here somewhere because there's the leads for it. All right, how much you want to bet that I set Wheel of Regrets and Thursday's project and some cards I need to test for Sean? Yep, all of that on top of it. All right. Garth's asking, anyone want to buy a 2011 MacBook Air that totally, always, completely boots? I can't say that I want that vintage computer. All right, so there's, I believe that is pin 20 on this side, and I believe this is pin 20 on this side, and I do believe there is no continuity. Although, let me double check. Maybe I got the wrong. Let me check this other pin that could also be pin 20. Whoops. Oh. Okay, there's a connection there, but I mean, the ribbon cable still looks like something's wrong with it. All right, let me check these 2 pins. Ooh. I think I found the problem. Yeah, I think that wire that's like looks like it's gnarled. I think it's broken. Even though you heard the multimeter beeping, the resistance was changing as I. All right. I wasn't able. I think the resistance might have been changing, which tells me as I was flexing the cable while trying to keep the probe steady, it was. All right. There's that, and yeah, that. Yep, I believe the mangled cable's not working. All right. let me check to see if there's any other signs of damage on this drive. Interestingly enough, the okay, that is weird. So these chips all appear to have had their markings sanded off of them. Okay, because I think this is an actual. Oh, I mean, I thought this was a TAC mechanism. Is the other cable okay? Well, let me check it. All right. Well, that's going to make that board kind of tricky to troubleshoot because all of the chips have had their markings sanded off of them. So if the problem's on this board, that is going to make that tricky. Yeah, Adam McGee says the clone maker adds the controller board and doesn't want a clone of a clone. Yeah, exactly. All right. Oh, good night, Ryan. All right, let me check the other drive's cable. Because it may be it hopefully is just the case that I need to replace the ribbon cables. That would be probably the best case scenario. Because otherwise, I might have trouble figuring out what's on the analog board unless I can figure out what the clone maker cloned. Because the thing is, that floppy drive, I don't think that floppy drive's analog board is from a micro-SI board. Looks like it's might have been made by NOC. It's actually, yeah, smash that like button. Smash it. Yeah. Oh, hi, David Starbuck. Welcome. You know, it's getting real when I'm disassembling clone floppy drives to check their cables. All right, this clone floppy drive also has had all of the chips on the analog board sanded. I mean, yeah, that is, I mean, that's definitely sanded. There's no other reason why the chips would look like that. Adam says, I like the non-FFC compliant sticker on there. Yeah. Yeah, I like that touch. I however, don't like the sanded chips. Okay, so this cable looks fine, although the thing is, this drive also didn't work, which has me suspecting that this cable may be bad, but I'm first just going to see if I can see an obvious damage to it. Because that might tell me where to check. Although I think I'll check pin 20 again because this drive does the same exact thing and probably sanded to keep someone from copying their copy. After all, what's the old saying? There's no honor among thieves. I mean, yeah, that is entirely true. They sanded it to avoid a lawsuit, depending on what they copied. Adam says, try that drive with the Disc 2 card. Yeah, maybe I should. Yeah, let me just do that. I'll leave it out of the case because that'll make it easier to see what's going on in case there's like something. Just in case it like does something that would be obvious. Oh, good night, Martin. Thanks for joining. All right. So this one, the cable looks fine. That's not to say that it's fine. There could be some problem inside the drive. I'll leave it open so we can see what the drive does, which will make it a bit more difficult. Unless I can find something to set the drive on. Which, yes, some people might say, well, you could put the lid back on the Apple IIe, but that would require me to go get the lid. All right. So this clone drive, pin 1 is... There's... Actually, I'll put this as disk 2. I'll boot from the Apple drive as disk 1. That way I can... All right. Actually, let me go get the lid because I do need to set that drive on something more sturdy. Oh. Yeah, so it would probably help to plug the disk 2 card in. All right, notches go out. All right, there we go. Notches are facing out. Oh, hi, Retro Techie. All right, there's the disk 2 controller, or the disk 2 drive. And I will actually boot Computer Inspector with it. And actually, and then we want to actually see what the clone drive does. So I'll put the clone drive on top. And this is what I call the Tower of 8-bit Power. Also, do not attempt this stacking at home. Trained professional YouTuber closed course. Do not attempt. Yeah. Adam says, yeah, if this doesn't work, try the Apple card, which we know works. Who knows if that weird clone controller works with the weird clone drive. That is true. Even though I bought them bundled, it is quite possibly the seller put them together out of some weird reason. Maybe because maybe they were in the same storage lot, but never actually went together. It is one of those sanded chips. No audio. Oh. I am not muted. Did that fix it? Okay, yeah, I restarted the camera. No. 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 Sound is not randomly back. Sound was randomly missing. Sound is back because I disabled and re-enabled the camera. So, yay for OBS. Yeah, it just... Oh, it just cut it... Oh. It's OBS. I should probably check for updates, but not while the stream is running. Actually, I'll check for Oh, no, there's no updates currently available. Alright. I don't know where it cut out, but there's something wrong with this drive. The spindle speed's changing, and I suspect it's probably one of the sanded chips. So, now because we think the other drive had a busted ribbon cable, I'm going to plug it into this ribbon cable, which is probably working. But I have a feeling it has the same problem with it, so we'll go to the Apple II card. Yeah. Yep. And if this doesn't work, we'll go to the Apple II card, just to confirm that it's not a clone card compatibility issue of some sort, but I'm more inclined to believe that it's the drive and not the card, because the spindle speed was varying wildly. Alright. Alright. Disk drive test. Drive speed. Drive 2. Blanker use disk. Alright. Yeah, there's something wrong with the... Oh yeah, there's something wrong with the spindle in this drive too. I can actually feel it in this drive. The spindle is bogging down. Yeah, the spindle's bogging down. Oh, I'm probably going to have to kill the sound filters. Hold on one moment. And now we have ASMR with Justin D. Morgan. Today's ASMR is a bad sounding floppy drive. Listen closely. This has been ASMR with Justin D. Morgan. We're going to go back to our normal programming now, so I can say hi, Sean. His Geek with Social Skills in the house. And hi, Eric. I think I managed to miss you popping in the chat. Oh, Sean, not that you can probably read. Let me make sure it's, Yes, your name has popped on my workbench, so... Anyways, yeah, Adam says, it seems weird to me that both drives are broken in the same way. Yes, I find that really weird, too. Alright, but they are seemingly both broken in the same way. Alright, so... maybe I should take Rudy up on his offer, because... then he can fix them. Alright, now, of course, because what would a eBay purchase B before I devised Wheel of Regret B without a third potential regret. Now, if I can just remember where I put it. I think both of these drives are like borked in the same way. Okay, let me go find the third floppy drive. It was from a different eBay purchase. I think I sent it over with the code. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, because it's not a Commodore floppy drive that Adam sent me the Alps mechanism to fix. It was the third clone Apple II floppy drive. So, well, you've tuned in for a repair most likely. It's just we're not going to be repairing the drive you thought I would be repairing. Oh no, let's see here. Yeah, suggest trying with the Apple card to rule out the controller. Okay, let's just rule out the controller card. Yeah, just I think it's the drive, considering the drive was making that weird noise, but let's just make sure that was not the card causing that. I only need to test one of these two drives because I see Adam said try the Apple II card, but I suspect it's the drive, not the card. But I will rule that out. All right. We'll try it with the one drive that I've got connected. All right. And then we'll take a look at maybe trying to do a hub swap, which will be loads of fun, I'm sure. So right now, is it if I had to rate, is it a good idea to buy clone Apple II drives on eBay? The answer is a resounding no. Get that idea out of your head. Not a good idea. Because I think I bought 3 and looks like all 3 were broken on delivery. I should maybe look and see if that. Well, you know that would be one thing to do. I could see what the. No, I removed chips off that board. That invalidated my return period. Never mind. I was gonna say I could see what the seller's return policy was on that purchase, but I reworked the controller card that invalidated the return policy. All right. Okay. We've got the Apple II controller card in. All right, so let's see here. Sean's still on generator power. It's currently raining ice. Yikes. Did that clone card break the other drives? Probably doubtful. Let's see. Adam says I do a hub swap by throwing the drive in the trash and swapping in a different drive. Yeah, that clone card works fine with an Apple drive. Yes. All right. Well, let's see if an Apple drive works fine with the clone drive, because I suspect there's something wrong with the... I suspect it's actually a fault with the drives. Interestingly enough, the motor spins when you insert a disc, which seems a bit weird, but maybe that's fine with the clone drive. They did work differently. No, definitely not the clone disc controller causing that. The spindles. I hear it in the spindle. Okay. So it was not the clone controller causing that. David Starbucks says, if it worked out of the box, what fun would that be? Yeah, you're right. Adam says, my driveway contains a foot of water in a convenient solid form. Oof. Ooh, Sean's on a will. Yikes, yikes. All right. Yeah, it should be yeah, it should be 300 RPM on the dot, just the same as a Apple drive. The spindle's I can hear it in the spindle. It's something's burdening it. So all right, let me clear off my bench here. Okay, so I've got two of these clone drives that have the same problem. Something's causing the spindle to be burdened. I'll have to... and this is after Rudy was telling me, oh yeah, those TAC drives are so reliable. Well, that's the power of the eBay regret. Any other person who bought those drives, they'd probably worked fine. But nope, I bought them. Therefore, regret. Do the second test for Adam. Try test 2. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'll try test 2. Although with the spindle motor doing the thing it was doing, I doubt it's going to work, but I'll give it a try. Let me I'll just put the floppy emu in place of the drive 1. I had too much stacked. All right. Adam says I would have tried adjusting the speed to 300 and then run test 2. Well, the thing is, the spindle sounded wrong. So I think I need to check and see why the spindle sounds wrong before I try adjusting the speed. Because it sounds like the spindle needs lubricated or something. So before I try adjusting the speed, let me first figure out why the spindles are not working correctly. All right, first let me... All right. Apparently Apple IIe's, if you have an unformatted disk inserted, depending on what's on them, they will crash to the monitor. All right, disk drive test. All right, let me find my blank disk. Adam McGee says, another thing to try off stream is to let the drive motor run for 30 minutes to work out the gunk. Yeah. I mean, all right, let me try the general operation test. All right, this disk drive appears to be having problems. All right, I guess I can, all right, I guess I'll let it run for a minute or two to see if it seems to be stabilizing. David Starbucks says, soak the drives in PB Blaster, light them on fire, and use a floppy emu. Well, there's something wrong with my floppy emu, potentially. Because I can't format. I'm having trouble writing and formatting to my floppy emu on the Apple II. Although, I guess I could boot into DOS and see if I can do it with the genuine Apple controller. No, I've already tried that. Yeah, I already tried that on different Apple controller cards. Well, I guess I can try this one. But yeah, there's something wrong with my floppy emu, and I don't know what it is. Yeah, the drive speed does seem to be stable now. And David Starbucks says, light the floppy emu on fire and get a Commodore 64. No, I'll contact Big Mess of Wires and ask why the floppy emu's not cooperating on the Apple II. Could it have just been that I needed to let them run for a few minutes? Could it have been that easy? Okay, I think the one has a busted ribbon cable, but... Okay. So... Well... Hmm... Okay. I think it might still be having problems, so maybe I need to let it... Maybe I need to do what Adam was suggesting off stream and let it run for 30 minutes. Adam says, try to boot from the TIAC drive, please. Okay. Well, actually, interestingly enough, it was actually booting from the TIAC drive. All right. The weird thing is, I've been able to boot from the TIAC drive, like, even with the spindle doing what it was doing, which I thought was, like... I didn't think that was possible. I thought Apple II was timing sensitive. All right, Adam says, the diagnostic doesn't always work with third-party drives. My Rana drives fail test 2 every time. Okay. Oh, then you probably want me to boot DOS 3.3 and try to format a disk. I mean, I could care less if the drive doesn't pass a diagnostic, but I thought the diagnostic was the way you knew the drive worked. But oh, Adam doesn't have any TX drives. Okay. All right. So this drive is now disk 1. All right. Caps lock is down. All right. The only diagnostic I have is computer inspector, so all right. Ah, okay. Ask Javier. All right. Oh, oh, that's right. It's new. All right, good. Don't have a program in memory, so load. Hello. Oh, by golly, it looks like it's running. Yeah, I think that also means because I formatted this disk that if I that mean if I power cycle the drive. Ah, what do you know? There you go. You boot from this disk. It tells you hello world. Yeah, it's probably good. All right. Well, let's see if maybe the other mechanism might rejuvenate here. All right. So this mechanism seems to be working now. Yeah, I'll have to fix the ribbon on the other one, so I'll just use this one ribbon here. Okay, make sure I got it. Interestingly enough, even though this drive is probably running at the wrong speed, how's that for ironies? So, because I was able to boot Computer Inspector with both these drives, even though they were doing crazy things, which is why I thought the disk controller card was reporting bogus things. But all right, let's let this run for a few minutes and see if the spindle motor sorts itself out. Adam says, I'd run the dress for a while, then adjust the speed. You're probably good. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe I might write a basic program that'll exercise the drive. Or I could just use Computer Inspector. I don't think it's actually spinning at 618 RPM. It's also not spinning at 2 RPM. I mean, it's probably a side effect of however it's writing its marker pulse to determine RPM. Yeah, I'll let it run. Well, on the stream, I'm only going to let it run for a minute or a few minutes at most. This drive doesn't seem like it's settling out as quickly as the other one did. Oh, let me put a little tick mark on this drive here so that I remember it's the one that settled out. David Starbucks says, just put in an SSD. Spinning discs or so, 1977. I know they're so 1977, but they also bring back the feels of using the computer in 1977. Well, it actually seems like it might be. Adam says the best solution is to use the parts I sent because they work. Yeah, that would be the best solution. The whole reason I bought a clone controller and a clone floppy drives is because they were for the clone. I'm quickly seeing that might have been a fool's errand. Well, the RPM seems to be stabilizing, maybe, and coming up to the correct speed. Or maybe not. Adam says, I almost sent a disc too without the Apple badge. Yeah, eBay regrets. Well, maybe we'll take a look at this third clone drive. I mean, theoretically, I could find another TAC mechanism and put the analog board on it. If it came down to it. If it was the right mechanism. I mean, okay, the spindle in this one still sounds kind of bad. But it is stabilizing, but it sounds like this spindle needs like lubricant or something. Take a look at this one drive to figure out. Is there, oh, I don't know if there's even a way to lubricate these spindles. Okay, so maybe this one, if I adjust the RPM speed after letting it run some more, maybe it'll run at the correct RPM. Or I might just forget about the clone drives. Or I see what Rudy's willing to pay for these 2 clone drives. Let him know the condition they're in. Make some of the money back from my clone purchase. And just use what Adam sent me. That is also tempting. That is also very tempting. Yeah, this drive might actually be stabilizing up to 300 RPM. Joe says, I ran into this before with my K Pro drives. They got slower and slower over the years until they didn't do the thing anymore. Yeah. Actually, this one looks like it's coming back up to RPM. Because it was dancing around like the 280 something. Now it's. Well, look at that. It looks like it's. Okay, I might have spoken too soon there. Well, there might be hope for this drive yet. The spindle sounds so much better too. Maybe they just need exercised. Frank S says, "Hey Joe, I'm getting slower and slower over the years too." Aren't we all? Yeah, we got like, I don't know. Joe says, if you really want to keep these drives, find a way to lubricate the spindle. Okay. Might just need to work the bearings a bit. Yeah. Because look at that. I mean, it's been running for 5 minutes, which I think is a bit longer than I intended to. But it's settling right around 300. And the spindle sounds so much better now than it did 5 minutes ago. No comment. Wow, it sounds so much better now. Okay. It's probably not quite to the point where I would try to format a disk, but yeah, maybe they just need to run. Maybe they forget how to run while they're in storage and you just have to let them run some more. I don't know. Yeah, if I really want to keep them, I'll find a way to lubricate them. Or if I decide to just use what Adam sent me, well, I'll use them to recoup some of my costs. But if I had to say whether my $120 purchase for the clone controller card and 2 floppy drives, yeah, I think I paid too much. I probably, well, I think even if they worked, I might have paid too much. But actually, if they worked perfectly, maybe that would be like on the borderline of acceptable. I mean, after all, these drives do have the jumper settings that you can override the write protect switch. They are somewhat different mechanisms because they have they've got a write protect override and a let me see, what's the I gotta look at the back of the case. So it's a oh, and you can change the seek speed. Oh, I wonder if maybe this drive would work better in some computers if I set it to slow seek. I don't think that's why the spindle motor's wacky, but all right. All right. Let's look at this last drive here after I take a moment to set things aside and get screws mixed up with each other that are going to make it painful to know which screws went with what. There we go. All right. All right. Okay. So, I guess the next drive to take a look at, as I continue to remember every reason why I keep wanting to clean my workbench and then find reasons why I don't get to it. My latest excuse is I've been trying to edit a video for release. The longer it's taking, the longer it's taking, the less timely the video seems like it's going to be, which means I want to finish it quicker. Which means my 2023 year in review video is going to be over an hour long at this point. In my defense, it's hard to take 7 4-hour live streams and condense them into like anything short. Because you kind of want to have the happy moments, the bad jokes, the eBay regrets, the successes, the failures, the Trident video cards. Good night, Frank. All right, so this is the Alps drive that I bought on eBay. This one's another clone drive, but it was a separate purchase. And the hub is cracked on it, so you can't insert a disc. And that is why Adam sent me an Alps mechanism that I could take the hub off of it, because I believe there's... Oh. Well, the hubs are the same, but the connectors aren't, so... I have no idea how well this is going to work. I mean, at least one good thing is, on this drive, they didn't sand the chips, so... I would think, though, that maybe to get the hub off, could it be just as simple as taking this screw out? Well, at least I got a good belt I can probably reuse. Oh, let me guess. That's probably pressed on, and I'm probably going to realize I need a some sort of a tool to get that off. Yes. That's going to complicate things. Hmm. Yeah, if only that connector was the same. Then I would just probably swap the electronics off of this first drive onto this one and go from there. Yeah, I'm gonna need like a... That's press fit on there. I'm gonna need like a puller or something. Hmm. Okay, so I guess we're not fixing this floppy drive tonight, because I'm going to have to figure out how you even maybe get that fully off. I think it's been press fit onto... I think it's been press fit onto the shaft. It doesn't just screw on. That also leads me to believe the shaft is probably on the spindle, and ooh, that could be tricky to get off. Okay, well, I'm about to do some research, so I guess we can't fix this other drive tonight. Unfortunately, it's an Alps mechanism, so I can't just swap analog boards. But yeah, the problem is, so you go to put in a floppy disk, and that's as far as you can insert it. Because, oh, wait a minute. I think I see the actual problem. It's actually hitting the... Oh, I think this mechanism's borked. Yeah, I'll need to get a puller for it. I think this mechanism's borked. I think this metal upper part has been warped as well, because the disc is hitting the lower spindle. This lower spindle's cracked. You can almost... There you go. You see that? There. It can be a little hard to see, but you see that crack right there? So it's been cracked, but I think this metal piece is warped. So not only do I need to... Yeah, this drive's jacked up. It would almost be easier for me to. It would almost be easier, although I don't know why. What's exactly wrong with this drive? Because I know Adam told me it was broken. It would almost be easier for me to take all the wires off of this connector, and the wires aren't long enough. Never mind. Yeah. Need a bearing puller. Okay. Yeah, I think this. Yeah, I think this whole drive is going to give me a ribbon cable as a donor piece. Other than I think, well, I think there might be something wrong with this ribbon cable too. So, I bet that wire's broken. Oh wait, maybe that doesn't go through the wire. That might actually be an indentation between the two wires. Okay, that wire might be fine. All right, I guess probably it'll behoove me to check this wire for continuity. Because this ribbon cable may be the ribbon cable that fixes the other clone floppy drive. All right, well, I don't remember what I paid for this drive, but whatever I paid for it, it was too much. I think this drive is a write-off. I will probably need to find an entire mechanism and then that matches this mechanism and then swap the PCBs. Okay. Interestingly enough, though, the label on the back of this drive, Nihon Office Communications Co. That label matches the mark that was on the PCB on these two TIAC drives that had the sanded chips. I wonder if Nihon Office Communications made those analog boards and sanded them when they sold them to third parties so that they couldn't copy them. So I bet those analog boards were actually made by this company. They just didn't want others to copy their board because they knew uh, clone how these drives are being cloned. So I bet if I ever needed to work on one of those boards, I just need to find a picture of the maybe find a picture of that analog board or find a picture of one of their drives. Anyways, yeah. So this drive is going back on my repair pile. Nothing I can do to it tonight. It is a full eBay regret. All right, now what did I do with my? Okay. Oh, there it is. All right. I'm not even going to bother screwing it back together. Well, trying to think. I guess I could go. Guess I could go get the clone and start testing chips on it, and maybe I might have some of them. All right. So, computer is in a sad state again. Unfortunately, actually, I don't remember what it does, but I don't have the power adapter down here to plug it in. Anyways, it's not working again. I do know this chip is bad because I randomly picked the chip to test last time I had this computer on the bench. And the random chip I picked to test was bad. So I at least have to order 74 LS 139s. Because apparently oh, wait. I didn't think I had any, but then... That's right. I found the chips that... Of course, are standard. I don't remember if there was a 139 among them, but let's just say I didn't order any 139s from Jamco. Which I think is probably indicative that I didn't have any 139s that were failing when I got the chips. Alright, so I got a 257, a couple 194s, 32, like a 250 or 350, 174s, 175, 194. Alright, unfortunately, this is what an Apple, yes, David Starbucks says, this seems to have many more chips than normal. Yes, that is because this is a clone of an Apple II Plus. The Apple II Plus had every single one of these chips. None have been added or removed. It is a clone. The only thing that the clone maker added are these lovely breadboarding sections for hobby reasons, I guess. But yeah, pretty much all the chips are in the same place. Oh, hi, Sloopy. I'm about to start testing logic chips because I need to know what's failed on this. Because I have no way, I can't fix it unless I know what's bad and order more chips. Alright, so one thing I'm going to do to make this easier on my brain is I'm going to turn this board around. And there is a method to my madness there. And that is because my programmer the way it sits on my bench, the notch goes here. And now all of the notches on these chips are facing the same direction. Yeah, Sloopy says the Apple IIe had a lot less ICs. Yes, that's because the Apple IIc had some ASICs to cut down on the number of components in the system. So the first thing I'm going to test is any Hitachi chip on here, because I think the Hitachi chips of this era, assuming they are actually Hitachi chips, were unreliable. So those are the first ones I'm suspecting have gone bad. I should have probably just replaced all of them, considering if I'd find the bag of chips that I've pulled off of this thing, a good majority are the Hitachi chips. And what better place to start than this chip here, a 74LS00. Also, I am going to deoxit all the sockets as I pull chips out. Although I'm probably going to have to ultrasonically clean this board because there is corrosion in some of the sockets. But I don't have, I need to order some things from Jamco, some anti-static foam that I can put these original chips in is one of them. And apparently I unplugged this programmer. Oh, that would be why it was so easy to show you all on screen. It's because I'd unplugged it. Let me go ahead and plug it back in. There we go. That's better. All right. I don't really have a good way of sharing this, so I apologize. All right, so this is a 74LS00. And, well, it tested fine. All right. Let me at least get this. The problem is I can either put the software where I can see the chat, or I can, I think computers were usually socketed. Adam says the 74LS00 next to the crystal fails a lot. Oh, that's actually the exact one I removed. Let me pull up in a web browser my Jamco order. After Firefox installs an update, I think just about all the computers. Is it back? If it is back, then I must be in a vacuum. That's funny. Someone please confirm it's back, because actually my internet is funny right now. Let me check my Jamco order. Oh, well, I think my internet went to kaplooey, because my Jamco order still has yet to come up on the screen. All right, I'm going to pull up YouTube Studio here so that I can at least see the control panel. All right. The Jamco order still has not appeared on the screen. Oh, it actually stopped loading the page. There we go. No, I did not order any 74LS00s. All right. There's one other thing I can do, because there was a chip assortment. Adam says that chip fails a lot, so I was actually maybe going by the assumption that maybe it's failed and just isn't testing failed. So I was actually kind of thinking of swapping it out and trying if I have another one on hand. Yes, I know. I need parts. Okay. Apparently, I don't have any of that one. All right. Well, then I'm just going to have to go on. If the tester says it's good, then it's good. If the tester says it's bad, I'll see if I've got it on hand. All right. Okay. Well, I think this is another one of those Hitachi chips because the legend is all worn off of it. So I think this is a 74 LS166. Yep, I can barely read it, but it does look like it says 166. All right. So, all right. I am going to focus on these Hitachi chips first. All right, it's testing fine. Guess I could double check that I don't. No, okay. For the sake of time, I'm only going to proactively search out chips if they test bad or if someone says that one's known to fail. Otherwise, I'm going to test it and put it back if it tests good. All right, that's the keyboard. Although I guess it does look like I could probably spray a little deoxit in that connector. There we go. All right, that's Mitsubishi. There we go. Skip the Mitsubishi ones. There we go. It's a Hitachi. It's a 74LS151. All right, that tests good. Oh, I know some of these sockets are corroded. But I don't. I need to order some anti-static foam because I I need to put these chips on foam in like relative placement because I need to pull all the chips off and ultrasonically clean the board. But I don't want to just pull the chips off haphazardly because that'll take too long to put them back on. And it risks me putting them in wrong. Alright, so this is a 74LS74. I just need to order more anti-static foam because I don't have enough for the chips that need to go on anti-static foam. Oh. I do not believe 74LS74. I don't think my tester supports this chip. Oh, wait. Or is this a case of... Oh. It does. It's the case of this program sorts like rubbish. There we go. There it is. Yeah. 74LS74 is below some much higher numbered chips because it's sorting them like text strings and not like numbers. I would have changed it so it would sorted them like numbers because that's how people are going to look for them in the list. All right. Oh, and there's a Hitachi 555 chip. And another Hitachi 555 chip. Yeah, I don't think this board has weird shorts between the sockets. $74LS175. I think I've got failing logic chips. And we have our first loser. 74LS175 is bad. Wah, 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 wah. What'd I tell you? All right, I actually have one of those. There we go, 74LS175. All right, so I can actually replace that chip tonight. All right. So let me see if I can find the bag of dead chips that have come out of this computer. I think they are... Oh, maybe it's not floating on my workbench. Hold, please. I need to actually go get that bag because I am retaining all of the chips I've pulled out of it. Seriously. These are the chips that have tested bad. And that 74LS175 just joined them. And like the majority of these chips are Hitachi. Although I think some Motorola's are in here too. But anyways, yeah. There's all the bad chips I've pulled out of this board so far. And they are bad because they have tested bad in the tester. That's how bad they are. All right. Moving along. I think I'm going to now try this. This is not a Hitachi chip, but it's a Motorola chip, and I can hardly read the marking on it. So it is a mystery chip. Oh, it's a 74LS86, I believe. This might actually be from one that Sorcerer Stan sent me. But let me check it, because I'm having trouble reading the writing on it, which leads me to believe that it might be an original chip. Okay, well, it's actually working. So maybe it's just the markings rubbed off of it. All right, since I pulled it out, I'm actually almost tempted to just go ahead and replace these 555 timers, even though I have no reason to suspect they're bad. But that would require me to remember where the 555 timers I had in my hand the other day actually went. So I'm not going to replace them. All right, next Hitachi chip. Oh, don't worry, the other chips are going to get tested too. I'm just starting with Hitachi because they've proven to be unreliable for some reason. All right. All right. I think this 74LS02 is another Hitachi chip because I can hardly read the writing on it. Oh, yeah. I don't know why. The writing is like obliterated on them. It's not sanded off. It's like the writing has rubbed off or something. All right. I think that is a 74LS02. Actually, the socket looks pretty bad, so maybe it's just as well I pulled it. Okay. Yeah, it's testing fine. If I can get this computer back up and running, I'll take. It'll be one of the ones I'll take to VCF East. Maybe. It's going to have to prove that it's reliable because. Although then again, maybe that's the best way to fix it. Take it and everyone has pity on it. Take it and let Steve laugh at it, then maybe it'll start working. Because Steve just about bought this. Alright, well, that 74LS195 tested fine. I do not have a Retro Chip Tester Pro. They are outside of my price range right now. Okay, that is a 74LS20. I will have to take the legend on the motherboard at its word because I can't really read the writing on it. Well, I'm sure I can get it running, but will it be before VCF East? Well, I'm going to need more parts to do that. Also, I don't the Retro Chip Tester Pro, it would probably help if there was only one cuz it seems like there's two and actually at least one of them is like pretty expensive. I mean, it's probably worth it, but and I don't fault the projects for the cost because I think it has a lot of chips on it. So I mean, it has a high bill of material cost. But it's just kind of been one of those purchases that. And that 74 LS. Oh, that 74 LS02 failed because I thought I had the wrong chip selected. And that 74 LS02 failed. Probably because I tested it as the wrong chip. Although maybe it was failing anyway. So there we go. We got our second failed chip of the evening. So now let me see if I have any 74 LS02s. Yes, I did order some from Jamco. Now, the question is, where are they? And did I use them all? So that is Jamco part 46287. 46287. because the tubes that they put the chips in have their part numbers written on them. So I first have to find the tube that has their part number written on it. And of course it would be the last tube that I picked. Now, I have to see if the part is still in there. 74LS02. Alright, well I have had at least one of them. Alright, so I can actually replace that chip. So the bad 74LS02 goes in the bad chip bag. The good one I'm going to put in the tester just to make sure it tests good. And it does. I'm now trying to find my lead former. Which is probably on my workbench. There it is. Yeah, if it weren't for the fact that I want to go to VCF East, I'd probably get a retro chip tester. So, that would make it so much easier to probably troubleshoot this thing, because I could probably test everything in it then. But no, I'm going to VCF East instead. Alright. 74LS02. Alright, so we're... That is bugging me that I do not have a 139. I bet this chip is important. Alright. Here we go. We got 74LS153. It's a Hitachi chip. $74LS153. And it failed. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, that would actually mean I've had to replace all three of those 74LS153s. I believe. Alright. Alright, let's see if I've got any. Yes. May just have some. Alright, Jamco part 46720. Of course, I started with the tube I last used, and now it's not in there. So 46720. Nope, it's not in that. 46720. Of course, it would be the last tube I check again. All right, 46720. $74LS153. All right, I have one. All right, well. Adam, so I had it working, and then I didn't use the computer, and then the next time I plugged it in, without having done anything to it, it failed. There is no way I could have plugged the 12 volts in wrong, because I have the replacement power supply here, and the only 12 volt power adapters I have are all center positive, and that's a center positive power jack. I think these Hitachi chips are just poor quality. Thomas Armstrong seemed to think that the Hitachi chips that would have originally been in this board might have been known to self-destruct. All right, unfortunately, this one's bad, and I don't have a 139, so this board may not work with that chip bad. I guess I can see if there's another 139 I could trade, something that's not as important. Joe might. Okay, is the sound back again? I'm presuming that the sound dropped out. I don't know what the last thing I said is. Uh, the reason I'm going for these Hitachi chips first is they're the ones that seem like they are like self-destructing. '74. Let's see. This is a '74 LS08. No, seriously, I'm having trouble reading the writing on some of them. '74 LS08. Sound is back. Okay. Okay. Well, that logic chip's fine for now. Yeah, I think the chips are just failing for some reason other than my power, because I put this power supply in. It's 12 volt center positive. I don't have any power adapters that I could confuse with the one that goes with this. So I don't think I've like plugged the 12 volts in wrong. I think the chips are just failing. All right, so I got another 74 LS138. And specifically, I think it's these Hitachi chips. I'm probably just going to replace them all. All right, well, that one's fine. Believe me, as much as I'm spending on replacement chips for this computer, I wish I could blame user error, but I think Thomas Armstrong might have been onto something when he said the Hitachi chips were unreliable from this time period. All right. Okay, I can't test the 555 timers in this tester, but I can deoxit the sockets because although I think one of these, it would only cause the cursor to not blink. All right. If I can spot the 555 timers that I have somewhere, I may just replace them because I can't test them. I have 2 tubes of 555 timers. Well, what was the topic of the last Retro Hack Shack video? And that will determine if I've seen it yet. All right, so I know I've got one bad chip on here. 74 LS139. All right. Let me take one more look at this thing of components. Oh, there's a 74S 138. That's not close enough. All right. Anyone knows of a chip that's like compatible? Nope. Okay. Ampro A. Oh, no, I haven't seen that one. So, no spoilers, please. All right. I guess let me see where the status of this computer is, which means I need to go get my power adapter, which is conveniently located upstairs because I had to use it on something else. Oh, it was meant to be mounted to a 5 1/4 inch floppy drive and run CPM. Oh, okay. All right. Hmm. Hold on. Let me check something. Nope. Okay. All right. Let me go get the 12-volt power adapter for this. I'd like to power it up and see what it does. Oh, Joe says the little board and big boards were basically copied by K-Pro to make K-Pros. Okay. So CPM computers were that small back then? Wow. That's kind of impressive. All right, let me go grab my power adapter. It's upstairs because I was using it on something else. All right. Okay. All right, let me make sure the power switch is off. All right. Power, video. All right. Well, I don't have the keyboard plugged in, but I guess let's see what it does. Okay, well, it's doing what it used to do without the keyboard plugged in. I mean, it's always possible that one chip that I don't have a replacement for, it's always possible that it's not using all of the logic gates, and it might have, the one that's failing is not in use. So, all right. It's also possible that, yeah, it made sound, it made colors, but is it going to work? I certainly can't guarantee that. All right, I plugged the keyboard in. No. No, it's no. All right. I had the keyboard plugged in wrong, but no, I'm pretty sure it was plugged in right because the LED turned on in the corner. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is correct. All right, well, let me deoxit the keyboard connector. All right. Well, it's acting like the keyboard's not plugged in. It's not echolocation, it's sadness. The marking on this keyboard is atrocious, though. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have the keyboard plugged in correctly. What would happen if I plug it in wrong? I'm going to pop something, right? All right. I'm hoping that you all can hear me because the chat is like. What does plugging in an Apple II keyboard backwards do? Blow up the keyboard encoder. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Plugging it in wrong equals smoke. Well, maybe I should. Well, no, I'm pretty sure that I haven't plugged it in wrong. All right, then I am going to work under the assumption that I have been plugging it in correctly because I don't think I've smoked the keyboard, although I guess I should maybe try to. I just drew a red stripe on what I believe is pin 1. I think this clone does need a keyboard, because if I unplug the keyboard, it's going to do this. Despite the fact that this clone is a copy of the Apple II ROMs, it does seem to need a keyboard. And I can't explain it. Okay, I'm almost tempted to see if I can find my 555 timers and replace those. I don't know what the behavior is if they're malfunctioning, but they are Hitachi 555 timers, and I cannot test them in my chip tester. I just have to remember, though, where I put the 555 timers that I found the other day. Theoretically, I would have put them somewhere where I would have been able to see them, knowing I would need them. And then I've live streamed since then, so who knows what I've set on top of them out of frustration. All right. Okay, hold on. Well, what would cause it to just beep loop? I don't know. All right. I do know one thing, and that is that given how cold it is in the basement, I am not necessarily going to go all the way to my normal streaming time. I guess I'm warning you that now because my legs are getting cold. I was going to play it by ear, but my legs are starting to get cold, so I may call it earlier than normal just because it's supposed to get down to 10 degrees Fahrenheit here, and that's below freezing for you all Celsius folks. Joe says RAM, CPU, sockets, buffer. I think the RAM is fine. I doubt I've blown up the RAM, although I don't have a way of testing it. I mean, the CPU is probably fine. I don't particularly have an easy way of testing it because it's a 6502. Sockets, well, I know I need to ultrasonically clean the board, so yeah, sockets could cause it. And buffer, what? Which one's the buffer chip or chips? And I'll test them. I mean, I might have a 6502. Oh, you don't know exact parts. Hardware handling the soft switches, yeah. Jesse says the car battery and heat companies are sure making a killing this week. Yeah. I got my power bill today for the past month, and it was not quite as high as I was fearing, but yeah, we're gonna get like a degree colder here, Jeremy, tonight. Yeah, my power bill next month is going to be sad. Understanding the Apple II by Jim Sather. Forward by Steve Wozniak. Well, I'll download this to read later because there's no way I'm going to be able to read it tonight. Yeah, I guess I was kind of hoping that if I replaced the Hitachi chips, this would magically spring to life. But, I mean, I got a chip I can't replace. I don't have it on hand. And granted, I didn't test any of the non Hitachi chips. All right, I'm not going to kick myself for not remembering where my 555 timers are. Sounds like those wouldn't cause the problem I'm seeing now. 74 LS00. If that was bad, that might. Let me check the rest of the chips around the keyboard connector because I think I can make a safe bet that they're probably involved in the keyboard. There was a very logical layout in the design of the Apple II Plus. Oh, hi, Rudy. I do not have a real Apple II Plus. Adam McGee says bad RAM in the first bank can cause visual errors like that. Well, oh, all right. See you later, Adam. Well, I've already swapped RAM into this board. So if these RAMs have gone bad, then I really don't have anything I can put in there because yep. Rudy, I may I don't know, I might I'm on the fence about these TIAC drives, so I'll let you know. Alright, 74LS257. Let me test the rest of the chips around the keyboard connector. David Starbuck saying I might turn on the heat. Well, I'm saying there's no way I'm turning off the heat because yeah. Oh, turn on the heat tonight. Well, all right. The 74LS257 is fine. That's the one right beside the keyboard connector. All right. Well, I can test the 74LS151. All right. Well, it hasn't gone bad in the past 20 minutes. I don't know. I may just have to ultrasonically clean this board before I continue because these sockets are not the best. All right. 74LS194. I mean, I may have to replace the sockets in this board, and at that point, it's a long story, Rudy. I mean, I think I got one of them working, but the other's got a broken ribbon cable and... I don't know. I'll message you on Discord. I'll give you the full scoop. You know, I could almost maybe use an opinion in the chat. I don't know. This might be an unpopular question, but I'm honestly think I gotta ultrasonically clean this board because a number of these sockets look like they've corroded. The number could be approaching like half of them or more, which is an awful lot of sockets to be trying to remove from a board like this. And I don't know if it would be better to try to replace the sockets on this original board or to make a Apple II Plus clone board and then transplant all the working chips to a new board that's got new sockets. So, what would the chat say? I mean, that's assuming the ultrasonic cleaner didn't take care of the corrosion problem. Of course, that's also assuming that, of course, there are some differences in this board, so I suspect there's some things I wouldn't be able to transplant. But, I mean, the ROMs I could... Well, actually, I don't know. Well, I mean, I could put the ROM images. I don't know. I'm kind of... At what point are there enough severe problems with a board that you have to say that it's too dangerous to rework? Well, Jeremy, I knew you would say transplant. I would also like some opinions of some Apple II purists. Of course, I know their opinions probably don't transplant. And there's my problem. I'm like, at what point do you have a board like this that you just have to say... David Starbucks says, I say fire up that new logic analyzer and poke around that board first. Well, yeah, Rudy says either way, lots of work. Yeah. Well, the only reason I haven't pulled it out yet is because I have no chip clips. I have no, like, chip interposers. And I don't think there's any of the little clips that clip onto chip legs that go on the end of the pod cables. So even though I've got the analyzer and it has pods in the bag, the pods end in DuPont connectors and it expects you to plug those into something to actually trace the signals. So yeah, that's kind of I got it, and it's got the important bits, but it doesn't have the important bits, if you know what I mean. I can't hook it into this board. I have no way to. Joe says, you can get this one working, just lots of poking around to find bad chips. Sloopy, I can pull it out. I'll pull it out at the end of the stream, which is probably going to come sooner rather than later because my legs are getting cold. And I'm just kind of getting mentally stumped by this computer. Honestly, I probably need to just pull all the chips and ultrasonically clean it. And the only reason I want to pull the chips is to make sure that I get whatever corrosion's in the sockets out. And for that, I need more anti-static foam. I mean, all right, I'll figure out what's wrong. I mean, okay, so I know I need to get a 74 LS 139, and I'm pretty sure I have one in one of the shopping carts that I will eventually check out, but after making sure it's parts for things I want to take to VCF East. Well, Rudy, what I'm doing, and you can't see because I don't have a good way of showing it because of the USB cable short, is that's what I'm sitting here doing. I'm testing all the chips with the chip tester. And I found another bad chip, 74LS257. It's actually a Mitsubishi chip, but it is probably one of the original chips. All right, let me see if I have one of those. All right. Jamco part 47298. Well, this might be bad news on that chip. Unless the chips got put in the tube in the wrong order. Okay, that's not it. That's not it. 153, 153, 153, 190. Ooh, those are all 194s. Wait a minute. I might have. Hold on. I think I might have read the wrong part number. Because there were 3 different chip part numbers in this tube, and I found 3 different part numbers. Okay, so maybe I read the wrong line item. Okay. 74 LS 257. Part number 47298. Okay, I think Jamco may have written the wrong part numbers on that tube. Okay. Because I found 194s. They kindly put the numbers in like the order they were in the tube. So let me see what's in 47052's spot. Oh no. I think Jamco made a mistake when they shipped me this order. I think they accidentally put 194s in the tube that should have had 257s. Oh no. Oh no. Unfortunately, this order was from like back in August, so I can't prove that it wasn't my mistake. All right. I wish I'd caught that sooner. Oh, wait a minute. 74LS257. Oh, I do have one. It was in the chips that Sorcerer Stan sent me. Okay. Okay. All right. That was going to be a disappointing bombshell of a note to end the stream on. All right. Let me double check this chip. All right. Okay. There we go. All right, let's test the one that was beside it, and it's testing fine. All right. I mean, I guess I could try it again, but maybe I'll finish this row of chips because of the keyboard. 74LS 174. Right, that one tested fine. Yes, Joe, I could write the actual part numbers on the tube so I know what's in them, but that would take time. When instead I could just do what I'm doing now and try to get through this row of chips. Because actually, as I've already demonstrated, if I just simply translate their part numbers to chip numbers, there's at least one chip that they sent me the wrong ones, so... Alright, let's see here. 74LS74. Right, that one's fine. Yeah, I can... It's actually, I think it's supposed to be windy tonight, and I can... Almost like I can feel the drafts coming into the basement. Because I probably can. Alright, 74LS08. Alright, I'm going to do this row of chips, and then I'll try to power it up, and I'll see what happens, and then that's going to be it for tonight, because it's like my heaters are not overcoming the drafts coming in the basement, and I know you all like to be entertained till midnight, but oh, good night, Rudy. I'll get with you on Discord. Oh, good night, Joe. I'll figure this thing out. I've got a bad 74LS11. Well, alright, that's... And that might actually be the point where I have to stop because I don't think I have any 74 LS11s. Checking carefully. All right, let me check the chip assortment I have. It might have a 74. It might have a 7411 of some sort on it. Now, whether it's one I can just drop in, that's another question. Um. No, I don't. All right. All right. Well, now I've got two types of chips I need to order. All right. I guess let me finish the row of chips like I said I was going to do. All right. I got 74 LSO2. Seriously, I cannot explain. Oh, hey, Retro Tech Chris. Oh, Gut Bomb repaired that Mitsubishi monitor. Cool. Awesome. Oh, no worries, Chris. I'm about to finish streaming because I'm starting to get cold and well, you might be 2 hours north of me, but I suspect your weather is very similar and probably wind. I can feel the drafts coming in the basement, and it is like my heaters are not able to overcome the drafts. So I'm about to finish the stream and go somewhere warmer. So then you can send me that text message. Oh, Gut Bomb got that damaged anti-glare coating off the monitor. Cool, awesome, congratulations. All right, I'm not holding out hope that this computer is going to do much in the way of cooperating because there are at least two bad logic chips still on it because I don't have replacements on hand. If I'm to take this to VCF East, I'm going to have to get some more chips. I could make it the crowdsourcing a repair. Yeah, bring your spare logic chips to VCF East. Ah! Oh, cool. Retro Tech Chris may go to LNY with me on Saturday. Awesome. Yes. I believe they did have a huge box of IO shields at one point. All right. Let's see what this does. 3, 2, 1. Sadness. It didn't even beep. Oh, never mind. Okay. All right. Well, the Apple II clone is, well, not going to be repaired tonight. I'm starting to get cold. All right, I guess I will. I did say at the end of the stream I would I would at least show the logic analyzer so you all can see that I did get it. So, all right, let me move the Apple II clone off my workbench because there's no way it'll fit on the bench with the clone here. All right. Let me go get the logic analyzer. All right. Thanks to the generous tips that I received last Thursday when I mentioned that I had saw this on Facebook Marketplace and wanted to go get it, I was able to go on Saturday to Mechanicsville, which is a suburb of Richmond. It's like on the northeast side of Richmond. Actually, fairly easy to get to because I just had to go 64 East and then get on 295, and then like Mechanicsville is like right off of 295 after you go over, or I guess pass over or under, I don't remember which was, 95. So, anyways, it was a bit windy on Saturday. There were a couple times where the wind tried to blow my car off the road, but luckily I was fully alert and paying attention and had both hands on the wheel. So that so actually my drive home yesterday from work was more adventurous than that trip, and yet I am much closer to home to work. Anyways, here we go. It is an HP 1650B logic analyzer. It has a lovely, I think it's a 9-inch white phosphor screen. It's got a floppy drive and it works and it boots. And it's got a keypad and it's got the bag of accessories. Yeah, I went to Mechanicsville and Retrotech Chris went to Bethesda. Yes, so it did have the power cable, or a power cable. I don't know if it's the original one. I mean, it doesn't say HP on it, but actually, I don't think it's the original one, but it could be. Oh, wait, I just realized there actually were clips in here. I didn't notice that. Well, I guess maybe in a future stream, I will be able to actually maybe take a look at what's going on, because there actually are some clips in here. Okay, cool. I forgot that they were in here. All right, so I got actually maybe more clips than I thought I did. And I do have at least one disc. I think there's actually 2 discs in here. Oh, no, that's a shipping protector. Oh, I wish I'd known the shipping protector was in there. I do have one working boot disk, and I found the utility to be able to write more, but I have the pods, so I can ask Hal to open the pod bay doors, I guess. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like I have all 5 pods. Excellent. So I think that means I can hook up to 80 signals. And I've got some more miscellaneous wires here. And I have part number label that's fallen off of something. Don't know what that's off of, but it's special. Sloopy says those clips are worth more than the logic analyzer. Yeah. Tell me about it. Oh, and I have the the labels for the probes. Okay. Oh yeah, it looks like someone only put the pod numbers on them, but not the point numbers. Okay. Actually, it looks like someone started labeling them because 1 and 2 is missing, and then like all the rest of them are here. They probably like, screw that. All right, David Starbucks says, now learn how to use it. Francois says, you don't need that many probes. Send some my way. Okay, you should know how I lose things. So, no, I'm not going to let the pods get away. Because, yeah, believe me, I know how much these things go for on eBay without the pods. There is a reason why this did not appear in Wheel of Regret earlier in the stream, because I don't regret this at all. Because these things go for like more than I actually paid for this before you add the cost of my time and gas money. They go for more than what I paid for it. Just the logic analyzer. So yes, I did make an offer to the seller on this because it had been listed a while. The seller accepted my offer. So I actually paid the seller $80, but then gas and... Oh, oops, I forgot to call the Easy Pass Authority again today. Oh, well. I was, after I went to Mechanicsville to pick this up, I then decided I wanted to go stop at the Goodwill outlet that sells the computers that's located in Richmond. And to do that, I decided I would just go take, I think it's Chippenham Parkway, which is a toll road. And Sloopy, they had it listed for 6 weeks. They initially listed it at $150, and then at some point in that 6 weeks, they knocked it down to $120. And it was listed at least 6 weeks ago, because I'd been watching the thing for 6 weeks. I actually kind of forgot about it. So when I saw that it was at $120 and had been on Facebook Marketplace for 6 weeks, at least, that's why I offered them $80. And he immediately accepted it, because it turns out this was the last piece of equipment he had to sell. He had bought a whole bunch of like lab equipment because he wanted to get into building CubeSats. And then for time or money or for whatever reason, he was getting out of it. And like, this was the last piece of equipment he had of what he had listed. So I think in reality, he just wanted to get rid of it because it was the last piece he had. So anyways, yeah, so I then decided I'm going to Goodwill, and I had my Easy Pass transponder, but I was kind of somewhat concerned the battery might be dead or something like that. So I had intended to go through one of the attended lanes, because the attended lanes that support Easy Pass, I mean, yes, you still roll through it, because Easy Pass will tell you don't stop if it gives you an error going through the lane, because otherwise you could get rear-ended. You just keep going. But at least I would have known then that there was a read error or something, because the light would have been yellow or red to give me a warning or an error. But I tricked myself, and I was like, oh, well, there's the Easy Pass only lanes. I definitely want to go through that. And those are the non-attended, you roll through it at 45 miles an hour. So I was like, I don't have any feedback of whether or not the thing actually read. So I meant to call the Easy Pass Authority today to ask them, did it read, or do I need to send my transponder back and get a new one because the battery's dead? But anyways. Yeah, RetroTech Chris says, yeah, oh yeah, I had a battery die on one of my transponders. I mean, I know that they will probably send me a letter if it didn't read, but I thought I would be proactive, and if it is dead, then at least go fix it, so that next time I want to go to Richmond and maybe stop at the Goodwill outlet, assuming it's actually open, because, oh yeah, I did all that and got down to where they are on Midlothian Turnpike, which on a Saturday afternoon is not that is not a road that is not busy on a Saturday afternoon when it's sunny outside. Oh no. I was actually in the wrong lane to actually turn into Goodwill, but it's just as well, because I clearly saw where they were, and there were 0 cars in the parking lot, and I realized they are closed. Even though the website says they're open, they are closed. So all that, and I didn't actually get to go to Goodwill. And then, because now I'm feeling cheap or silly for some reason, I decided to leave Richmond not using the toll road, which was a mistake because it routed me down Parham Road in Richmond, which is also not a non-busy road on a Saturday afternoon when it's sunny outside. And actually, because I'd made a wrong turn somewhere, it actually routed me down like this smallest fraction of Chippenham Parkway. I could see the signs for the toll booths. Something in the back of my mind told me to just pay the toll and go that way and get back onto 295 and go around. No, I didn't listen to myself. And oh, I should have paid even if it was like the full $2 toll, I should have just paid the toll because Parham Road was even worse than Midlothian Turnpike. And I realized that if you're not from the Richmond area, that you're not going to recognize any of those roads. But if you've even probably driven anywhere in Richmond, you'll probably realize those are like two of the major roads in Richmond. So yeah. Yeah, David Starbucks says closed like Chick-fil-A on a Sunday. Yeah, except it was Saturday afternoon. And actually, when I mentioned it to my dad, he's like, yeah, they probably were short staffed and closed. Because believe me, as many people that were out shopping on a Saturday, I suspect they weren't closed for no good reason because they would have probably been slammed busy. Yeah, Retro Tech Chris says, I'd gladly pay a $2 toll if we had such a thing. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, oh yeah, they'll match plate. So if it didn't read, they're going to match my plate and then it should still deduct out of my Easy Pass account. So yeah, actually Chris, I probably can check the transaction online. I just have to remember how to sign into West Virginia's Easy Pass system because my Easy Pass was issued by West Virginia, not Virginia. And there's a reason for that. And that reason is Interstate 77. Although I think probably in reality, now that I probably drive more, potentially could be on more toll roads in Virginia, maybe I should just like get an Easy Pass through Virginia and return the one to West Virginia. But yeah, I have a West Virginia Easy Pass because that's how you get the discount on Interstate 77. Yeah. That's why it's not a simple matter of I remember how to log in. I'm pretty sure they have an online system and I just need to go look it up. But yeah, because I think they have one now, but I think when I first signed up for it, it was all like paper forms because the West Virginia Easy Pass, boy, were they old school for the longest time. Fancy Easy Pass, but totally old school on actually doing anything to it. They probably have an online site now. I just need to go probably create an online account and log in. But yeah. Yeah, Sloopy says I used to have a Delaware one. Now I had to get a Maryland one. Yeah. But that's why I have a West Virginia one is for Interstate 77. Honestly, I think I could get actually, I wonder if you can have a Virginia and a West Virginia one. Ooh, no, that probably would end badly if it ever had trouble reading it because then you're not going to know which state's actually going to get the transaction. And yeah, okay. I should probably only have one per tag. Anyway, David Starbucks says, what are toll roads? Anyways, yeah, thanks to everyone that helped get the logic analyzer. I realize it's not anywhere. It's like we're still 30 minutes to midnight, but okay, you can have more than one. All right, well, then maybe what I'll do is I'll just get a Virginia one too and keep the West Virginia one for when I'm on Interstate 77. Just put it in the foil bag when not in use. Yep. Okay. Good point. So maybe I will get a Virginia one for easier dealing with Virginia and keep the West Virginia one for when I want to drive Interstate 77 because it's a non-trivial discount to use Easy Pass, especially if you are going like from Beckley to like Charleston and back. Because you go through like a number of toll booths. So yes, Loopy says had to get a Maryland one because the Harlem Bridge. Yeah. Yeah, $12 to cross one or unlimited for 20 a year. Yep. Yeah, that's kind of like what West Virginia does. It's like cash is like it's probably more than $2 per toll booth now. I think they went up. I think it's like $2.50 cash per toll booth. or Easy Pass is like $1.75 for toll booth, and you can actually pay like $5 to get unlimited use of the like Beckley on ramp. And or like I think there's an unlimited plan, and if you do any at all significant traveling on I-77, then you want the West Virginia unlimited plan because it'll save you a boatload of money. Yeah, 2K compliant, $12 to cross a bridge once. Oh yeah, and Retrotech Chris is saying I think Maryland charges me more to use my Virginia Easy Pass. Yeah, I bet they do. Yeah, you should see the tolls in DC. Every time I see the toll signs in DC, um part of me inside says, "Wow, that makes I-77 seem like a cakewalk." Yeah, Maryland doesn't have toll booths anywhere but main cities, yeah. Oh, yeah, $12 to cross once, but they charge it one way, yep. Yeah, there's a bunch of those bridges that's like the toll is one way. Anyways. Yeah, in DC, they have variable rate tolls. David Starbucks says, I've driven in DC, Boston, New York City, and LA. DC sucked the worst. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't know exactly how much the toll was on the Chippenham Parkway, because I think it's also a variable toll. I don't know what the toll was, because unlike in DC, where at least some of the signs actually they have like signs that'll tell you what the toll is at the current time. It was not posted on the Chippenham Parkway. You just go through the toll booth. 2K Compliance says, wow, I drive to Richmond a few times a year. I take US 522 down through West Virginia into Virginia to avoid DC. Ooh, US 522. That's a nice drive. If it's the one I think it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know which one that is. Yeah, I have family in West Virginia, so. But yep. All right. Well, I think it's 11:30. My legs are getting cold. My feet are getting cold. So. Ouch. Yeah. Anyways, I think I'm going to go ahead and call the stream to an end because I'm getting cold. Yeah, Chris says, I want out of here, but the schools are good here. Oh, yeah. Oh, Chris, you are in, like, the best school district in where you are. Yeah, it says, as soon as the youngest graduates, house goes on the market. Yep. Don't blame me for staying until then, because your school system is, like, the best in Virginia. Yep. 2K Compliant agrees. It's actually a nice drive. Yep. Sleepy Malibu says my ex lost registration on her car because of easy pass tolls and fees. Yep. Got to be careful with those. Anyways, yep. I am going to call it because I'm getting cold and, well, that'll at least let me be able to warm up so that I might actually be able to fall asleep sooner. So anyways, I hope to wish you all a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there, especially if you're on the East Coast where it's like really frigid. Be mindful of your wind chills, because I can definitely tell it's windy outside, even though I can't hear the wind. I sure feel the drafts. So, Thursday, I have a PC motherboard beside me. We'll be taking a look at that. I don't know if it works, but let's just say that stream's going to start off with a wheel of regrets, because that's exactly where that motherboard came from. And until then, hope to see you all next time. Take care, and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.